If a school promised that your child would love school, learn twice as fast, and finish their academics in just 2 hours a day, leaving the rest of the day for passion projects and hands on workshops, would you send them? Alpha School says AI makes that possible. And according to their data, it's true. So is AI really the future of education? Or is there something else at play? Alpha is a growing chain of AI first private schools whose core feature is that students complete their academic work in just 2 hours using self paced, mastery based software. Their operating system, Time Back, figures out where each student is academically, creates personalized lessons, and keeps testing until they've mastered the concept. Compared to traditional schools where children have to sit through 6 or maybe even more hours of standardized pacing, for those who can afford it, the pitch is pretty compelling. Tuition runs anywhere from $10,000 to $75,000 a year. Alpha says, above all else, kids
Kids must
must
love
love
school.
school. But they also describe academics as something to get out of the way so they can get their time back for other pursuits. But those two things don't quite sit right together because if school is about learning, and if you love learning, you don't want to get it out of the way, you want more of it. And real learning isn't just you and the content, it's what happens between the people. When a classmate asks a question you hadn't thought of or challenges a point of view, is that inefficient learning? Is that wasted time? Isn't that precisely what makes you a more critical thinker? Discussing a novel in a room full of your peers is a fundamentally different experience than answering standardized questions that just confirm you understood the plot. One proves that you know the established answer, and the other shapes how you think. So, if AI is doing the actual teaching in these schools, what is the adult in the room doing? Well, at Alpha, there are no teachers. They are called guides, and they are well paid professionals from all different backgrounds, not necessarily education. But the guides are not allowed to help with academics at all. Their job is purely motivation, not instruction. If a student gets stuck on the content, they're encouraged to actually just search online or maybe even book a support call, which can be handled offshore. And yet, their students score in the 99th percentile. So clearly, something is working here. But is it the AI? Because when you look more closely, the success may have less to do with 2 hour AI learning and more to do with everything surrounding it. Alpha has very small class sizes, highly motivated families that self select to be there, which is a far cry from public school, and lots of money for incentives. Incentives are a huge part of what makes Alpha School so successful. In fact, according to founder Mackenzie Price, motivation is everything. So much so that Alpha has included large financial rewards and expensive trips tied to performance and goals. So, if small groups, motivated students, personalized pacing, and project based afternoons are major drivers of alpha success, and the founders themselves say that 90% of it is motivation, why is AI getting all the credit? That question becomes more important once public funding enters the picture. In 2025, Alpha applied to open 6 charter schools. 5 of these applications were denied. The one that was approved is in Arizona, and it's called Unbound Academy, which operates as a fully virtual school. Alpha has always positioned guides, not teachers, as a key feature of their model.
We don't have teachers. We don't have academic teachers.
But Unbound Academy, the version that actually made it through the approval process, uses teachers, which means the model being implemented with public money already looks different from the one that built the reputation. And that's actually the smaller of the two differences worth talking about. Because Alpha has been pointing to the 99th percentile scores and how kids love school more than vacation. All that comes from their brick and mortar campuses where there are personalized incentives, hands on projects, and real social interaction between the kids. What got approved in Arizona is none of that. It's a system where students work through AI delivered academic content at home with no guaranteed social interaction, no hands on workshops, no project based afternoons. The results from Alpha that is used to justify public funding are from a completely different model than the one actually being funded. But Alpha has federal support behind them right now. Secretary of Education Linda McMahon visited Alpha School as part of a national tour to identify what she called the most effective education practices, and she chose Alpha as one of their examples. And Alpha has bigger ambitions than that. They have said that they want to reach 1 billion kids. When a model like this scales into public education, it's less about whether it works for the families who chose it and more about what will be the standard for the kids who don't get a choice. The old factory model of education wasn't designed with kids' best interest in mind. It was designed for compliance, sit still, follow instructions, prepare for the workforce that needs you. AI powered academics seem like the opposite of that. Kids moving at their own pace, learning across subjects, following their own curiosity, optimize learning. But is it possible that we've just swapped one set of corporate interests for another? Instead of kids being shaped to serve the factory, are they now shaped to serve the platform? A kid who moves faster through the content generates more data points, more behavioral signals, more of the training material that makes the platform smarter and more sellable. So, before AI scales across all tax funded public schools, we should be clear on what the goal of school is and how we define learning beyond academic achievement.